From Manila to the globe, this is World Newsfeed, bringing you the biggest stories shaping our times. Good morning, I'm Raine Musñgi. Let's dive into the headlines and making an impact across the world. Donald Trump is headed back to the White House in a historic comeback. After 4 years out of office, the former president secured his return by defeating Democrat Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. Trump secured 279 electoral votes to Harris's 223 after winning the crucial swing state of Wisconsin. Trump also holds a popular vote lead of over 5 million votes.
Frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good.
In a phone call Wednesday morning, Harris conceded the election and emphasized the importance of a peaceful transition of power.
Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Trump's campaign focused heavily on issues of immigration, the economy, and national security, attracting strong support in key states. With this win, the 78-year-old becomes the first U.S. president since Grover Cleveland to win 2 non-consecutive terms. President Joe Biden, who withdrew from the race in July, extended an invitation to Trump to visit the White House, stating the need for national unity. A spokesperson for Trump said that they are reviewing the invitation with more details expected in the coming days. Many hope this move will send a strong signal to Americans of both parties to work together. World leaders are reacting to Donald Trump's return to the White House. From NATO allies to the Middle East, there's a mix of congratulations and caution. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised Trump's win, calling it a commitment to peace through strength. Zelensky, who has leaned heavily on U.S. support, said he looks forward to working with the new administration and that he believes Trump can help bring stability to the region.
At the team level, we have interaction. As always, we undoubtedly value the bipartisan support of the United States. We discussed all the points of the victory plan at the meeting in New York, as well as at the meetings in Washington, in Congress, in the White House, both in terms of defense and in terms of the economy and in terms of the future after the war. We have the potential for stronger cooperation. This is what will make Ukraine, America, and the entire free world more successful.
Meanwhile, Russia's Vladimir Putin took a wait-and-see stance with the returning U.S. leader, saying that a Trump presidency could blow to Ukraine by limiting American support in its war against Russia.
It is almost impossible to worsen USA-Russia ties further. The relationship is at its historically lowest point. And then it will depend on the next leader of the United States. President Putin has repeatedly repeated that he was open to constructive dialogue based on justice and equality and a willingness to take into account each other's concerns. And President Putin keeps this attitude. He has repeatedly confirmed it. At the moment, the U.S. administration is categorically opposed to it. We will see what happens in January.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulated Trump and voiced hope for stronger cooperation to counter Iran, while the militant group Hamas criticized the U.S.'s blind support of Israel. Asia is also closely watching this new era. South Korea said it plans to further its security partnership with the U.S., and Taiwan hopes for continued support amid tensions with China. Global leaders are waiting to see how Trump's policies will impact international relations. Turning to the Middle East now, Israeli airstrikes on Lebanon killed 40 people around the eastern city of Baalbek in the Bekaa Valley on Wednesday. The country's health ministry says 53 more people were wounded at dusk as more strikes hit Beirut's southern suburbs. Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah have exchanged fire for over a year in parallel with the Gaza war, but fighting has escalated since late September. Israel continues to press ahead with military operations in Gaza, while Lebanon's Hezbollah warns it could join the conflict. Tensions between Israel and Hamas have escalated, with civilian casualties mounting. Israel's military says its strikes target Hamas operatives, but Palestinian officials report widespread damage to civilian infrastructure. Hezbollah leaders warn they are ready to open a second front from Lebanon if Israel's attacks continue. This latest violence has drawn international concern, with the U.S. and European leaders calling for restraint. Iran, a Hezbollah ally, continues to condemn Israel's actions, further complicating the situation. More news from around the globe in a moment, only on World Newsfeed. Welcome back to World Newsfeed. South Korea is already moving to build a stronger security partnership with the United States after Donald Trump's win. The South Korean government announced plans to work closely with Trump's administration on regional defense. South Korea faces an increasingly aggressive North Korea, with recent missile tests heightening tensions in the region. South Korean officials said they hope for a perfect security partnership to counter growing security challenges. European leaders are responding to Donald Trump's election win with a mixture of caution and congratulations. Now, while many welcome him back, there are significant concerns over how his policies might affect transatlantic relations. Germany, France, and the United Kingdom offered their congratulations, stressing the importance of continued cooperation on climate change, security, and trade. However, many European officials remain wary of Trump's known isolationist views. Trump has repeatedly criticized NATO and is expected to push for Europe to shoulder more of its defense costs. This has raised questions among allies about potential strains in NATO under Trump's leadership.
Noch ist die neue amerikanische Regierung nicht im Amt.
Many things will certainly be different under a government led by Donald Trump. Donald Trump has always made that clear publicly. Our messages are clear. Firstly, Germany will remain a reliable transatlantic partner. We are aware of the contribution we make to this partnership and will continue to make in the future. This also applies with regard to the threat that all NATO allies believe Russia poses to security in the Euro-Atlantic area.
Meanwhile, China has announced its support for Myanmar's political transition, calling for stability and order in its Southeast Asian neighbor. Speaking from the 8th Greater Mekong Sub-Region Summit in China's Yunnan province, Chinese Premier Li Qiang said China has always placed its relations with Myanmar at an important position in China's neighborhood diplomacy. Beijing's endorsement is seen as part of China's wider strategy to expand influence in the region. On the lighter side, snow finally falls on Mount Fuji after the Japanese mountain's longest ever stint with bare slopes. The active volcano's iconic snowcap usually starts forming on October 2 on average, and last year, snow was first detected by government meteorologists stationed in Kofu City on October 5. This year, the country experienced one of its hottest summers on record as extreme heat waves fueled by climate change engulfed many parts of the globe. That makes 2024 the latest arrival of snow since comparative data became available in 1894, beating the previous record of October 26, seen twice in 1955 and 2016. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden has congratulated Donald Trump following a stunning and polarizing victory in the U.S. elections. The White House tells Reuters Mr. Biden has spoken to both Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris by phone. It adds the president has invited Trump to meet in the White House while congratulating Harris on her historic campaign. Mr. Biden is set to deliver an address Thursday to discuss the election results and the transition. Harris had earlier called Trump Wednesday to congratulate him on his victory. She already made public remarks following her campaign. The 78-year-old Trump secured his comeback to the White House, garnering over 270 electoral college votes needed to win the presidency. And that is it for today's edition of World Newsfeed. Follow the Money will be next. Keep it here on BNC.